Today I decided to make a quiver for my trekking poles, and after I got started, it dawned on me that I should probably do a video because I couldn't find one, and I thought, well, if I do a quick video, maybe I can help somebody else down the line. As you can see here, I already have cut the piece that I needed for my trekking poles, and my trekking poles are the Perea brand. I've had these for about 10 years. And so I don't have exact measurements for other poles. My poles are not the fancy expensive poles. These were very inexpensive, but they've held up well. I've used them for several ultra distance races. So I wanted to make a quiver that would fit for my particular poles because I think mine are a little bit more bulky than the expensive other brands. For reference, I use a raid light vest. This happens to be one of the larger raid light vests that I own. Again, because I wasn't planning on doing a video, a lot of these pictures and parts of the video are going to be a little bit out of sort, but hopefully by doing this voiceover, you'll kind of understand what I'm doing here. But basically, I wanted to show you that I used a plastic carabiner clip, and I use those because number one, I sweat a lot, and number two, it could rain. And I use the little triangle piece that goes with it that I just shared. And it's not a set, but you can buy them as a set. I buy them and I use them for purses and other things. But in this still photo, you can see in the center top of this photo where I have that little chalk mark. And on the bottom, you can see a little bit of white that's sticking out where that last clip is on the bottom. And later in the video, you'll see what that looks like when I was trying to determine where I wanted to put those loops. I also wanted to share that I'm using a thicker thread in my machine. This is an old vintage sewing machine that I predominantly use for bag making, and I use a thicker weight, so you'll just have to kind of play with it and test it and just make sure that whatever material you're using, that your thread is going to hold up well. Make sure you use a really nice sharp needle. And when you go over those loops, make sure that you give it a really good back stitch. So again, I have 2 loops on my quiver. I used a tag for my loop. I just have these tags. They came with some fabric that I purchased. And so I just use those 2 little tags for my loops, and then again, I use that little triangle ring. This next video, I wasn't originally going to add it because I had to do a voiceover, but there are a couple of parts of this video that I think are important because you can get a little bit of a glimpse of that triangular plastic ring that I use and also what I use to do my loops. But you can also see here how I determined the width and the height of my quiver. Now, I already had one loop. You can kind of see it in that middle clip, that little bit of white that's hanging out there. And then you can also see that little white chalk mark that I made. Now, this was after I took it over to my hydration vest. I also opted to put a reflective logo on mine. You don't have to do that, but I thought it would be kind of fun to have my reflective logo. And basically all you need to do is take your poles, determine the width, and determine the height. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do that for you because all of our poles are going to be different. My poles happen to be very bulky compared to a lot of the top brands. This is an inexpensive pair of poles, but I've been able to use them for races up to 75 miles, and they don't let me down. So although they're a lot more bulky than a lot of the expensive brands, this is what I use, and like I said, they haven't let me down. They don't weigh a lot more than the top brands. They're just really bulky in comparison. So once you determine the height and the width, then you just need to make sure that you give yourself that little bit of extra for a seam allowance. Now, I really lucked out. I didn't have to cut more than one piece of ripstop, but you may or may, you may want to do, a muslin or something just to make sure that you're not, wasting a lot of expensive fabric, because ripstop is not cheap. Now here you can barely see a little glance of that triangular ring that I used. And again, all I use for my loop, you can use twill tape, you can use a lot of different things, but all I did was I used this label that I get these labels when I buy this particular fabric, and so I just decided to use that because I knew that it wasn't going to fray. All of our hydration vests are made so differently. So keep in mind that this is for my particular vest. You might have to get a little bit more creative in how you're going to attach it to your particular vest. But hopefully by looking at this video, you'll kind of get an idea of some things that you can do to sew one of these up for yourself, because I know they can be kind of expensive buying them too. A little bit later in this video, there's also going to be another view of that triangular piece. It'll be coming up here shortly. Just keep your eyes peeled for that. Here I'm just kind of showing you how I'm going to fold that top over one more time. That's what I'm going to, oh, there it is right there. You can kind of see it in the video there. It's just a little triangular plastic ring, and that works perfectly for that plastic carabiner clip that I use. I'm using ripstop. There are some other materials that you could potentially use. I just happen to have this. I'm really glad that I did have it. But there are some other materials, maybe some sort of waterproof canvas or something like that that you might be able to use. I don't know for sure. I feel kind of fortunate that I did happen to have some of this in my stash. And there you can also see a little bit of what that loop looks like. And again, you can see what that little triangular piece looks like. So all I'm doing here is turning it inside out. There's not a lot else to see here, but I did want to add this part of the video because it does kind of give you a little bit more guidance. And there you can see I'm clipped to my hydration vest. That's how I have it clipped. So I got a little fancy by putting a reflective logo on there, and then I just went to go show my husband what it looked like, and the S came off, and I ironed it back on, and it's off kilter, but it's okay. It's just for me. It's just a fun thing for me. So the other thing I did was I went ahead and used a safety pin, and I thread my bungee cord through. This is also reflective here. And there's a couple of different ways that you can do this. You can simply use, I have so many of these little gadgets. There's so many different ones you can use. You can use something like this, and I don't really think it matters too much which one you use. I'm going to try a couple of different ones, but that one looks like that's not going to work too great. I don't really like the round ones as much. Anyway, what you want to do is you want to find one of these. It kind of helps, it locks in, kind of keeps everything together with your bungee cord. You can tighten it, you can loosen it, but what I was going to show you, there's a couple things you can do. You can take the ends and you can tie a knot. So you can tie a knot on the end, and then that will help it from this coming off. Or you can use one of these, which is, you can buy these for like shoelace locks and stuff like that. And basically all you have to do, well, first of all, I'm going to burn the end of this so that it doesn't fray anymore, hopefully. And then you take one of these, and you press it so it doesn't come off, and that also helps it from coming off. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and attach this to my vest. I'm going to go do my last long run. I'm getting ready to do a really cool race in Texas. So anyway, that's what made me think about doing this video. And I'm sorry this video is not fancy by any means. It is a quick sew. But I'm not extra. I don't have like all the fancy poles and stuff like that. These are pretty cheap poles, but they work. They've lasted. I've never even felt like they were going to give out on me. And I've been using them for, like I said, many years. So I'm just going to go ahead and give this a go, and I will post a photo when I'm done so you can see what it looks like. And I did end up making a couple of changes, and I want to share that. You can see that in that picture that I just shared, it was sitting a little bit lower than I wanted it to. So what I did here is I'm going to kind of show you what I did with my vest. I would only recommend doing this if you are a confident sewist and if you feel comfortable sewing through many layers. But basically what I did is I took another one of those loops and I took a seam ripper. I took about, I think maybe 6 of my stitches. I couldn't think of the word, but I removed some stitches and then I ended up adding another loop. Again, I used that same tag. I had it sitting around. It was really easy to use, and that's what I ended up using here to make the quiver sit up higher on my vest. Now I will say that I don't show it, but after I sewed this, I ended up putting another loop even higher up above where that pink is because I ran with it and I felt like I needed it to be just a titch higher. The other thing that I don't show is I also took off about a 1/2 inch on the bottom of my quiver. I felt that I wanted my poles to stick out just a tiny bit more to make it easier for me to remove and then put them back into the quiver. Here all I'm doing is showing you that I'm using a variated thread. It goes from white, gray, black. I just used a little Sharpie to make it look more aesthetically like I wasn't doing a hack job. But again, there's 2 things that you don't see in this video. Number 1, I ended up putting a loop even a little bit higher. You can barely see it in this video. And 2, I removed a 1/2 inch off the bottom of my quiver. I turned it back, wrong side out, took a 1/2 inch, sewed a 1/2 inch on the bottom, and that was absolutely perfect. I ran with it. I obviously need to get a little bit faster at putting the poles in and out, but for my first try, I'm just really happy with this. I really hope this helps, and if you have any questions, please let me know. I would love to help you make your own. What